this week on What's the Remedy podcast.
All right, what's up? Welcome back. What's the Remedy podcast? Your boy, Dr. J.
Mr. Wash.
Ashley Ray.
Hey.
Hey.
Happy New Year, everybody. It's
Happy New Year.
the first one back, 2019.
We back.
Turn up. Let me see. Everybody had a Happy New Year. I mean, because we didn't get to get on because I guess New Year's Day was the last time we were going to record.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so this is January 8th that we're recording right now. How was everybody's New Year's? I did spectacular New Year's Eve festivities.
You want to talk about it?
Oh, I gotta remember that.
What you did New Year?
We went to the art gallery.
That whack nigga.
What?
Me and Ashley Ray went to a New Year's Eve party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was at this art gallery.
We call it Archway.
The free Henny, free Ciroc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the Arch.
How was it?
It was
good?
cool.
Yeah.
It was
Niggas
cool.
ain't shit.
Nowhere to sit.
Nowhere to say it.
It was a
But
black,
it's cool. Let
it
me
was,
not. I'm not gonna.
it was a all black affair attire or whatever.
I wasn't wearing no.
Yeah, she wore a full red, just
I saw it.
just a rabbit dress.
Damn.
Yeah. She wanna stand out. I
They
feel
had,
you.
No,
they,
right. We didn't have to wear red.
they had
I
a
mean, we
dude.
had to wear black.
They had to do with a red dress shirt, some overalls.
Like he
Oh.
was going farming, so it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Everybody else look good in their black.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Anyway,
I said I know it was supposed to be a blackout, so y'all are supposed to be in black.
it was black. I'm black. That's as black
You
as
light
it's gonna
skin,
get.
though.
Yeah.
Whatever.
You was red all the way through.
All the way through.
Red.
Red bottle.
Anyway.
With your blonde hair.
Man. So
Wait.
my 2019 niggas lying.
Had Elmira.
Yeah.
That would leave her alone.
Mara when he followed you home. Made
Nah,
sure you
he
made it
ain't-
home safe.
no.
Gave her a free drink and wouldn't leave.
Whatever. I got my own damn drink.
I was just saying, I know that nigga ain't trying to buy a drink.
Wouldn't
Buy a
leave.
drink.
Wouldn't leave.
Gave me the wrong name at first. I was not fucked up when I first got there. When I left, probably. But told me his name was Jerome.
Oh, he gave
yeah,
you the
what's up?
fake name?
Gave me the fake name.
Oh.
So we started talking more, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you coming to LA? I'm put my number in your phone." Shit said Terrence.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Terrence. Terrence.
So from Jerome to
I
Terrence.
was like, nigga, didn't you just say your name? Yeah, I know I ain't that. Come on. He was like, he ain't want to say nothing, and I kept mentioning shit. I thought your goddamn name. I was going off for him.
Wouldn't leave.
Leave
Damn.
me alone.
Terrence was like, I'm not letting nobody else come over and claim this. I'm about to stay
That was
over
kind
here.
of fucked up because they probably thought that was my dude.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
That was messed up. He was hating. I wasn't getting up. My feet was hurting.
Yeah, but it was cool. But
Was he dressed nice at least?
He was dressed nice.
Y'all look like a good tandem duo.
He actually looked nice. He took his shade, had to take shade, but the whole line incident, and then you wouldn't move around, got me like, I don't need no more stopping in my life.
yeah, so like I say, all in all, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? The drinks were strong as hell.
Then Allie got a lap dance. I had to stop that shit.
Yeah, she had to stop
Oh,
that.
well,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she had to.
I'm a hater.
Why you hating?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she like, hey, oh.
I'm a hater.
Why you hating, man?
Cause,
But like I say, the drinks were really strong.
man, the drinks was,
She put a full cup of hen and a splash of Coke.
That's what I want. That's
Yeah.
all I want.
I don't drink like that. So I was like, hey, lady, take some of this shit out.
And then we ended the night with the fog adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought I was going to die.
See, I didn't have to drive in the fog because, okay, so I went to Opulence.
How was
downtown.
that? Oh, Meg
Oh,
Daddy.
I was like, before you say that, like I said, the fog adventure. I was riding, you know what I'm saying? I was driving.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
shit.
I was riding with Lil Real from Bird Box. Because she couldn't see, so she started screaming, talking about, I can't see, trying to get out the car.
Yeah.
I was with my head out there and be like, I can't see shit. We gotta get. I felt like we were gonna die. We blanked.
She couldn't see. And then she's sticking her head out the car, trying to get out, talking about, my eyes burning.
I think I was a little fucked up.
Get your ass back in the
He
car.
got talking about, get your ass. I was like, I can't see. My eyes burning. It's smoke out here.
Well, by the grace of God, we made it. So
I was happy to see more cars. And then he told me, I'm just out on the way line. I was like, oh, Lord.
Nah, I'm glad I didn't have to drive in that because that shit would have been scary.
We were
Oh, yeah.
good until we got to my side of town. I was like, oh, hell no.
Man, nah. See, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have done it. I didn't even know that it was fog like that until the next morning when I woke up and I started seeing everybody like snaps and stuff and I was like, oh
I
shit,
hope
it was like
nobody
that.
got hurt because I was just thinking, like, I know I was pissed. Like, man.
I mean, yeah, driving drunk with that cloud.
Yeah, that was not cool.
Mm.
But how was Opulence?
Our was cool. Like
Big old freak. You was on the stage.
Big old freak.
Freak.
Yeah.
She is the truth.
Yeah, she is.
She my good.
She nice.
Yes.
She nice, man. Yeah, her concert part was really good. Like, but even outside of that, because she was only up there for a little while. You know, she did a few of her songs and that was it. But like even outside of that, like the countdown was cool. DJ was cool for the whole time. We had like a little bottle at our table, so I was getting drunk.
I was watching one of your snaps. One dude looked like he was trying to molest a girl up in there. I'm just saying.
He was trying to do what to her?
Molest her with his eyes.
With his eyes.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna say like that you're wrong because I'm sure there's plenty of dudes that have molested women with their eyes. Cause
yeah, I felt like y'all need to stop looking at me, nigga.
You know, cause you would get dressed up, be having the titties out and everything, so niggas be like looking
I had
at
to
it.
let them
Like,
know what I was coming with 2019.
Yeah, I be trying to show out, and so some niggas get a little staring,
a little frisky.
Yeah, they get to staring.
I don't like that staring shit.
You know what I mean, it happens. You gotta tell the nigga, hey, stop staring at me. You gotta be.
And then you gotta hear
firm.
Bitch, I wasn't talking to you.
I wasn't even looking at you.
Like
damn, you ain't that cute anyway.
Like I seen that gas station video.
Oh shit.
Dog,
yeah.
She was laughing too much because I would have started swinging. I don't like that.
They
shit.
probably beat you up the way they acting.
We just gonna be big. We gonna fight then. You are not gonna do me like that. First of all, it was too many niggas over there. I would never stop and got gas.
And they said, yeah, you ain't ready for no real pimping.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He was like, let the bitch go. I didn't like that. I was like, that's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
I was tripping when they was on her that hard, and then the other girl was coming in.
Yeah.
She took off running back. They was like, oh, we gonna get you too.
Yeah. They split up.
And people think that shit's funny. That's not funny.
That shit not cool at all, and that's why I wouldn't advise anybody to pull up at no gas station like that. I know that people are saying like, oh well, I mean, you shouldn't have to worry about that. I know you shouldn't have to.
But I do watch I try to get gas before I go out if I'm gonna wear something a little tight.
I'm a dude now. If I see too many niggas at the gas station,
yeah,
I'm trying to rock. I'm not stopping.
Because
I have been harassed before. I'm like, nigga, what do you want? And where you going tonight? Minding my goddamn bit. See, my mouth bad, so I just don't say nothing, and I just gotta get back in the car. But those two, I would start swinging. I probably got beat up, but no.
Yeah, I don't. I've been in situations where, like, I've been in big groups of niggas. I mean, like, I don't really ever have a problem because I'm a pretty big dude, so like, I don't really ever have people harass me too much.
With you.
But I've been in
But
situations where
too goddamn much.
I've been in situations where I was going somewhere with like females, like I had female friends, and like somebody had to like go into the store, and I had to walk with them past the niggas, and like niggas, you could tell they wanted to say something to it because they'll say something to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you, big dog. Yeah, I ain't mad at you down here. I'm like, I just gotta look at them like, all right, and then like they won't say anything to her, but I know if she'd have walked in by herself.
Niggas like, hey, say little thing.
And my thing is, like I say, regardless of being a female and that, I pretty much wouldn't go into situations like that. Yeah. Like I said, I won't get told nothing, but it just look like some shit probably will pop off.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be nowhere around that shit.
And that's what I was going to say, because like that situation, it irritates, like, it not irritate me, but it had me uneasy. It had me uneasy, even like what I'm saying, walking the girl up, because I'm like, damn, these
niggas was all around her.
Even if it's me though, if these niggas pop off,
it takes one nigga to try.
I gotta do something.
Yeah,
and it's me.
Would you do
on
something?
I wouldn't have a choice at that point because they on me. So like I gotta fight.
Yeah, like I said, you be scared to go inside.
And the thing is, I'm big, so not too many of them niggas gonna really fight me. So they probably gonna try to shoot me. That's just how it goes.
She should have went up. She should have.
Yeah, I would advise people just not to stop.
All that laughing and shit, you just egging that shit on like, nah, nigga.
I mean, I think, and that's a good thing to say, you know, given the New Year's Eve, you know, dressing up, situation, parties, all that kind of stuff.
You can't wear nothing really, because dudes don't know how to act.
They don't know how to act. And I think that it's wrong, and we're going to kind of, this is actually kind of going towards our topic anyway, we're going to kind of get into that, but like, the thing is, as much as we want to say, hey, you know, dudes need to act better, and they do, there are a lot of dudes out there that we not going to reach with that message.
No.
And so you got to watch out for them.
Well, no, because like I say, that as we get older, the younger generations get worse. Because, like I say, going back to the beach party days. Like, I remember going to the Camp Beach party my 11th grade year and driving on the beach and people naked pretty much on the beach, right? Mm-hmm. Ain't nobody tripping. Ain't nobody, like, doing the most. But as the years kept progressing, I've seen females fully dressed in jeans and a damn hoodie and niggas crowding, harassing her like she in a bikini or some shit.
That's scary.
Like I said, it's crazy to me. Like,
and that's why I don't go to stuff like that. I can't go.
But that's why I had to shut stuff like that down.
That's scary, man.
Yeah, no. That's what I was gonna say. Like, but this leads us into like our main topic for today. It's pretty much gonna be the only real topic because it kind of ties in everything. But
I'm ready.
You ready? All right. So
What you got?
a check yourself segment for today is gonna be over. Basically, I mean, we're gonna touch on a lot of things. I want to give the disclaimer before we get started that nobody here condones or I don't agree with shit that happened with R. Kelly. Because obviously we're going to talk about R. Kelly and the whole R. Kelly situation.
And John Gray.
And John Gray. Because they both did some whole ass shit.
Yeah.
Just R. Kelly's a little bit more...
egregious.
Yeah, egregious. There you go. It's a good word. Yeah. But anyway, like, so we're going to talk about just basically...
Just type in
John Gray the psychological effects of being negligent in a lot of situations. Mm-hmm. So... one of the main things, like I said, one of the main topics that we have is, of course, the R. Kelly situation. So everybody's probably by now at least seen the documentary. If you haven't seen the documentary, like myself, I haven't even seen it, but I've talked about it and talked with people and watched people talk about it so much that I feel like I know everything that happened in it. But if you haven't seen it, you should probably watch it. I'll try to give it a look one day just to get the full aspect of everything. But I mean, I really don't need a documentary to know that R. Kelly did some whole shit. But yeah, so in the documentary, they talked a little bit about R. Kelly and the things that he did as far as, entrapping women, I guess, manipulating women.
He entrapping,
manipulating women, because...
He trapping folks, too.
Yeah.
In the closet for
In
real.
the closet, yeah. Good call there. Trapped in the closet. But,
open the closet? No.
Yeah, you can't sing the song. You can't sing the song. Yeah, you can't sing the song. But anyway,
because that would come on right now, I probably would watch it. I ain't not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. But anyway, so the whole R. Kelly thing, it brought up a lot of subject matter that we're gonna try to unpack a few of the things, just because it has a big impact on people psychologically. In fact, talk about some of his psychological issues and issues that he's causing in other people, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about John Gray and some of the issues that he was having in his situation. As far as, just him getting famous and his marriage problems starting to come to a head and how his marriage problems are causing more issues for him. So it all ties back to what we call negligence. And I think one of the big things is we want to talk about community negligence. So I'm going to start there. So in our community, because one of the big things I have a problem with as far as the whole R. Kelly allegations and stuff go, is that most of the things that go on with R. Kelly, or most of the things that people are talking about R. Kelly, are part of a big system that's in place that protects him in everything that he does. And it's not just him. And like I said, I'm going to start with R. Kelly, but I'm going to talk about everything. So one of the things that they have in place is that, he has a security guards, he has managers, he has the parents of the girls that were there, he has, everybody that's connected. He's still signed to RCA, so RCA is still protecting him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He has such a system in place that it's really, and the fact that he actually has a video of him pissing on a little girl and he never went to jail for it, it's crazy.
But they say it's not him.
It's because you're talking low.
Yeah, everybody hear you.
I can't hear nothing.
Now I hear you.
I can't. Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Your hand away.
I know.
Yeah. So I can't hear myself. Move your hair.
Yeah.
Goddamn, go to lives.
Yeah.
That's big. Okay.
Okay. Anyway,
goddamn cushion.
All that hair on your head. But anyway, so just basically the whole community aspect. So besides R. Kelly, the other thing I have a problem with the community is that I think that it comes from a culture that is in place everywhere. And part of that culture is that if something's happening and you can't necessarily prove it, it just has to be let go. And I think that's the culture of everything. Because, it happened with Michael Jackson. It's happening with R. Kelly. It just happens with people. Chris Brown had problems that just blew under the rug, too. So my question to y'all is...
His problem didn't blow under the rug.
They did. After that, he's still making music and doing great.
He just beat what's Rihanna. That's it.
That's it. That's not that's it situation.
That should have been it.
That should have been it.
No,
that should have been it.
I don't think that should have been it.
For him, if he would have been saying that he was accused of beating her up, right? That's one thing. But when they showed the pictures of her face and stuff like that, he should have been out of there.
Right.
He should have never. He could have came back. He should never got back to the heights where he was.
Yeah, and like.
See, I don't even know how to feel no more. Like, I just don't know.
About what? About R. Kelly or Chris Brown?
I'm done with R. Kelly.
Okay, you done with R. Kelly?
But you think Chris Brown needed a reprieve?
I think because he just.
I think he was just young and dumb and did some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I understand what you're saying about Chris Brown. Okay, but we'll go back to Kelly. How do y'all feel about the whole R. Kelly situation as far as his management, his security, all that stuff? Why do you say that?
Need to go to jail.
Why?
Y'all know that he was messing with young girls. You can act like you don't see them. They've been around him. They know his actions of everything. You know what the age of those girls are. We're grown now. You could tell a young girl. You know what he like. If you talking about, we used to take him to the mall. Like, the tour manager was like, yeah, he liked to go to the mall. It sounded like he was scoping for young girls.
But he was.
Yeah, like, it sounded like y'all was just taking him where he wanted to go find young girls. Not young women, young-ass girls.
I have a question because I haven't seen the documentary. And, like, so were all the girls, like, 15 or...
In the beginning?
It was like, out of the, let's say, 8-10 girls they talked to or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, not all of them. Cause like,
most all of them.
Yeah, no, because
it was some women, but...
the majority of them was all under the age of 18.
Under 18.
So. But, you know, some states you go to, 17 is legal age.
16.
Yeah,
Cause
this is what he'll do. Like, at the end, I guess after he got caught, he'll get you young, talk to you for a while till you get of age. Then he'll be like, just snatch your ass up. So now you over 18, and now you staying in his dungeon.
Yeah, you're over 18 or you, whatever that state's legal age is.
Yeah.
17 most states.
Maybe. Yeah, like that.
So he would wait till whatever legal age was and try to snatch him up then?
Yeah.
So how is, and I'm just going to ask this question as, not to play devil's advocate, but to just get a consensus of the culture that's created in that community. How is that different from Jay-Z saying he was officially dating Beyonce when she turned 18?
What's that nigga name?
Who?
Rap Tiger. He was fucking with Kim.
Yeah,
like he was allegedly redshirting Kylie Jenner until she was 18.
We're not gonna talk about Queen Bee anyway. We're not gonna do that.
Or like I say about with the P Diddy thing, when Diddy he married his first wife, whatever. He got her pregnant at 16 and he was 24.
Right, and so I feel like there's a culture in the community that says, "Fuck too far."
Right, that's what the culture does.
But the thing from my question is, and I'm just asking this to prolong
Let's
the
be
conversation
honest.
about
and
it.
that's what the culture does. They do fuck with little girls.
Right, and I'm saying especially in the entertainment industry, like they
entertainment, real life, black men fuck with little girls.
That's not true.
Majority.
Not true.
I would never go as far as saying that.
Yeah.
I'm saying the black.
Some black men fuck with little girls.
No, I'm
some
saying
Mexican men fuck with little girls. It's everybody.
That might be their culture. That might be their culture.
That's why he gone now.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
White men fuck with little girls. That's where the pedophile organizations come from.
But they don't think it's pedophile. They think it's like, oh, they're just young. And they naive, and it's easier for me to talk to them and get them to do what I say.
I will say that's the case with
like
some black.
You gonna talk to a young bitch because you ain't gonna talk to me. I'm gonna ask too many questions.
With black men, Mexican men, those people, I will believe that to say that they talk to young girls because it's easy to manipulate.
Yeah, you ain't.
But I'm just saying that
you young and dumb, just want to sleep around.
But young people get fucked with in all races. It's not black men, but my thing is. In the entertainment industry, I feel like it's overlooked a lot because that's what they all do.
You might be right.
And I think
it goes back to the casting couch.
Right.
Things of that nature. Like, because at the end of the day,
so, yeah.
I'm like I say, because like I say, when you look at the R. Kelly situation, that is the celebrity kind of floor plan that people do. Parents let some shit slide with their kids, whatever.
And that's what they were doing.
Yeah, it's because he's gonna make my kid a singer, or he's gonna make my kid an actor.
And you seen them two, that parent, now the mother and father there. They said he took her up on stage. Now you know this nigga likes little girls. He ain't taking my daughter on stage.
Took her on stage, and then took her in the back.
And y'all not even going with her.
And basically took her to another concert, another state, or whatever. Because they say they was waiting on her to come back out.
Yeah.
And she never came out. She was somewhere else.
Yeah.
She left with him.
Basically.
But,
and now she's stuck with him and they trying to get her back. She ain't seen him in 3. She ain't seen her child in 3 years now.
Right, because like you said, I think that's why I believe that R. Kelly is sick, because like he just loves to get the young girls he can manipulate and get to, because once they get into that situation, like their mind is washed to the point where they just don't want to come back out. And we can get into that too.
And it's like I say, you're trying to sleep with her, but at this point for R. Kelly, it's a finish.
Yeah, it's definitely a finish.
That's what turns him on. Like I said, that to be naive, somebody naive on that level, because like you say, he has the mind of a child anyway. When it comes to conversation wise and stuff like that,
right?
Like hell, half the girls he messing with that age read better than him.
Right, because he's illiterate.
Yeah.
But who came up with them contracts for them girls to sign?
Probably management.
That is so many.
Because they had to protect the money. They got to protect him. Because like he's came out and said that he's lost so much money.
Sick.
Everybody's sick.
You came up with contracts for little girls to sign, so they want to sue his ass and none of them like.
Because can't stop the money.
I was gonna say one of the big things is helicopters in this bitch.
Oh, man, police, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
How the dope.
They trying to kill us. But anyway, so that was one of the things I was going to ask about. So
flush the dope.
Stop.
Flush the dope. But the money is a real motivation for a lot of people. I think the money was a big thing for like even the parents. Like they were willing to overlook some things because they're like, well, this could be her big break.
But you know that's been going on. You're right. The entertainment business been like that because like Chuck Berry was messing with little white girls.
Driving across the county line.
Yeah, then he go to jail for that.
Yeah, he went to jail
okay. What's that other one? Jerry Lee Lewis married his 14-year-old little cousin.
Elvis Presley.
And then he took her basically into the house so she could go to school to get of age to get married. What the? Yeah, they ain't say nothing. Well, Jerry Lee Lewis.
But like I say, in the black culture, like we talking about in the community, whatever, with this dating somebody younger or whatever it can be, we've always been taught certain families to push everything under the rug, like act like we don't see it.
Yeah.
Like everybody know Uncle Pete still. Everybody know Uncle Pete like little kids, what the case may be, right? But ain't nobody say shit to Uncle Pete. It's always they go back to say, "Hey, watch him." Yeah. And you're like, watch him for what?
Your kids.
Watch him for what?
Your kids over there.
We ain't got nothing like that.
Yeah.
But we got that. Make sure you put your
purse up.
Yeah.
That's so messed up. Make sure you move your jury and put your purse.
Where Pete at?
Yeah.
Hey, go check. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm saying, people have that in their families, whatever. Instead of facing the problem head on.
It's probably people do that.
Yeah, they just sweep it on the rug.
And I was going to talk about that too, because just my biggest thing is because I understand the boycotting R. Kelly and I'm for it. That's cool. Like if that makes you feel better. Me personally, I don't really get anxiety hearing the music. Like I know people that are actually getting anxiety from hearing his music now.
I think it does make me think this is about a little girl. I can't do this.
Yeah, like if it troubles you, I think you should definitely stop.
Watching them tell their story, and I had to ask to eat, I had to pee in the corner, like that type. I can't deal with it. And you're a grown man, and you have daughters. So I'm just like, what's gonna hit your daughter like this?
I just hate how when stuff like this happens, whatever, it just tells you how messed up our culture is. Because like you have people on both sides, they can just like adamant on both sides. Like you're saying, I understand people are like, hey, I can't listen to music, or it's triggering to me.
It is
whatever.
Triggering,
and I feel like when I hear a song, it's talking about a little girl, whatever.
Yeah.
But then you have some people like, fuck what you heard.
Yeah.
When Bump and Grind come on, I'm jamming, fuck all that. And it's like, damn, you ain't gotta be that adamant about it.
That's and my thing about that is it's not an issue to me if you still listen to R. Kelly. Like I think that's fine. I just don't think that you need to tell people.
Yeah, tell people like you ain't gotta be so blunt. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I still listen to Michael Jackson. We back in our head, we think he messed with little boys.
He did, and so like
I'm still listening to Michael Jackson.
Because on the lowest of keys, if Michael Jackson was still around and they wanted to have a special like this,
I think they would have got him.
They finally got his ass.
I'm glad he gone. Y'all don't do my man like that. I would have been hurt because I'm still singing Ben.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was going to talk about. So the thing about
that would hurt my heart.
The thing about what you have to know about like even the R. Kelly supporters, they're going to be in the same boat as like. I mean, they're not really in the same boat because we have even more stuff out about R. Kelly than Michael Jackson did. But Michael Jackson supporters were the same way. They're like, they couldn't believe he was doing like even with all the stuff that coming out.
I ain't gonna lie, I was like, no.
All the allegations.
Like Chappelle said, made Thriller.
Yeah, he made Thriller. People feel the exact same way about R. Kelly.
I know. And
R. Kelly made I believe I can fly. He
can't
do that shit.
One of the fans that was 16, well, she was 15. She was outside while he was going through trial. He picked her up outside. Basically.
Yeah, and then she fucked with him after that too. Yeah. So, but okay, so this is one of the questions I have. So is there anybody that you can think of that's a big enough artist that no matter what happens, you will always support them?
This is Michael.
Just Michael? Speak up.
Beyonce.
And that's what I was gonna get to. Because
Beyonce
is big enough now.
Yeah.
She can do no wrong.
She's on beyond Mike Jack level at this point, just because of social media and everything.
Mm-hmm.
She has complete stands, like Eminem definition of
when
stand.
her sister was whooping Jay-Z, I was like, yeah, that nigga deserve all that. And you just stood there
like people are so into Beyonce that they still hate Jay-Z for cheating on her, and she done already gave him.
I ain't gonna lie, and I probably not that I
So
hate him.
let's say something comes out. Beyonce done kept slave children in her house that she been working to the bone. Listen, that Beyonce been keeping slave children in the house. She been working to the bone. Nobody knew about it, but then one day it comes out, and it just all this evidence is just in front of everybody. How many people you think are gonna be like, oh well, fuck Beyonce, I ain't gonna listen to her music no more?
Nobody ain't gonna say that.
Exactly.
That report can come out, and then the next day she announced a tour. Everybody getting tickets.
On the run 3, baby, we backing up.
Yeah, that's my point. Like I think that
with the slave kid, that's what's up.
With the slave kid, she had little slave kids come out and perform with her. They be like, shit.
She wouldn't do that. No, she's good. She's good people. You can just tell her spirit. She good people.
So I'm gonna tell you this.
Why so happy to be pissed?
So I'm gonna tell you this. So one of the things that I noticed about people that have this have like sick mentality sometimes. A lot of times they be like great people. So one of the things I noticed. Okay, so I watched this show, and this is gonna tie back into everything. But I watched this show You on Netflix. Mm-hmm. It's about a dude that stalks this girl and does all this crazy shit about trying to get to her or whatever. So one of the things you notice about him throughout the show is that he's a great guy. Like he helps a lady with her groceries. He pays this kid. His kids are getting neglected at home. He pays for him to get food every day. He brings him books. He takes him to the bookstore. Like he takes care of the kid because his mom is getting beat by her boyfriend. And then like he walked by one day and the kid sitting outside. You can hear his mom fucking in the room with her boyfriend. And they make him sit outside the door in the apartment complex. He goes and gets the kid. Like, hey, come in here with me. Let me get you some food. He feeds him. All the while he's doing sick ass shit to this girl. But he's a great person to everybody else in the world. And he's even a great person to the girl because she doesn't know he's doing all the sick shit behind her back.
But he was doing
so he's stalking, sitting outside her window, jacking off to her.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And in fact, that's how he helps the lady with the groceries because he's sitting on the lady porch jacking off, and she comes out. He's like, oh shit, hi, ma'am, and she's like, oh, you here to help me? He's like, yes. She's like, can you give me a taxi? Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Let me go get you a taxi real quick. Like he does everything.
I'm telling the story. I gotta watch it.
that's small parts. Okay. But I'm just saying that like I do that to make the point that like people do like great things and be sick as fuck. So R. Kelly made things like I believe like he has some fucking great gospel music. Yeah. He has some great gospel music. I got at least 2 or 3 R. Kelly songs on my gospel playlist on Spotify right now.
He wrote a lot of songs. He wrote a lot of songs. He wrote
a lot of songs for people
one song with Whitney Houston I love. I was like, I can't do this shit.
It's a plethora of songs. Like if you really looked at all your favorite artist songs, you have to get rid of a bunch of them. Yeah.
I was hurt. I was like,
You Are Not Alone. Yeah. You Are Not Alone is R. Kelly.
That's my favorite.
You are not alone. I am here with you.
When you listen to the words, you're like,
you're like, oh, wow. Like now you think about the words.
Think about
the words to You Are Not Alone. Think about him keeping them girls in the house.
No.
That's R. Kelly. So that's my point. Is that R. Kelly is that person that's like he does all these great things and then like he does like sick things at the same time. But now that you you can tie it all together.
So what do you think about the parents? Aaliyah saying, the mother said, that's not what happened. She was not pregnant. They never had sex or was married. That lady's lying.
How do we know she's lying?
That what's name is public domain. Everybody found like the marriage certificate.
Yeah.
That happened.
MTV put it up.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, that didn't happen.
Okay.
So something wrong with your ass too.
But again, all about their money.
At the end of the day,
You
money is a
failed your
big motivation
child.
for them.
It look. If you look at Aaliyah's picture, sometimes I be like,
But that's the whole point. They've been guarding with her estate for so long. Because at the end of the day, they don't want real shit to get out.
no. That's why they never made a movie.
And that's what people feel like. That's why her estate been so
Because
guarded.
Lifetime made a movie, right? It was really whack, but
Yeah.
they showed that part where her and R. Kelly got married. They were real close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they had everything in the Lifetime movie. They had like her dating Dame Dash.
Yeah. But how old that nigga was to her? He looked old.
I mean, but this is when right before she died, so she was like 20 something already.
21.
She was
got
like
21.
She was like 21, but
he was dating her.
Yeah,
way
but he
younger.
looked like a fuck nigga because he came out and said some shit like, I didn't really fuck with him. You see, I wasn't on the Best of Both Worlds producing with Rockefeller with Jay-Z with that shit.
Yeah.
But nigga, you was in the Fiesta video
Getting with them bottles.
with the bottles and shit, and you was dating Aaliyah when that happened.
Right.
So
And like I said, my whole thing about that industry is I feel like right now everybody's having to separate themselves from him
That's why
because
they
he
not
got
saying
he
that.
got a little too wild. But all of them were participants. Like they all participated in the shit.
They said they asked like Mary J. Blige to speak on Lifetime and Jay-Z. They turned it down. Look, Kim.
Well, the thing is, and I heard what I heard was that they wanted them to speak on like the good side of R. Kelly, and they were like they wouldn't want to do it. Like they wanted to speak on like how it was to work with him like as an artist.
Oh, okay.
And they were like,
That
well, I
makes
don't want to
sense.
do that. And when we talking about the negative shit.
Oh,
he
because
done.
Chris Love said he didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Nah, he was like, nah.
Yeah, of course, Love actually came out and said I wasn't gonna do it because they wanted me to speak on how great
That's
of an
okay.
artist
That
he
makes
was.
sense.
But then again, they said that they told John Legend the same thing, and John Legend actually came out and was kind of against it. Even
Yeah,
in
he
his
didn't
part.
speak up. He didn't say he was no genius. He was like, it's completely wrong what he was doing.
Right. Yeah.
yeah, because like I said, in the same breath, I can say somebody's fucked up. I can say about their work ethic. It's like,
Yeah,
it's amazing.
like his
but
music
he-
teacher
Yeah.
said he's a great artist, but she was like, what's done in, she basically told him what's done in the door gonna come to the light. It's like she knew too.
I think everybody knew, but nobody really wanted to speak on it because, like I said, he could give you a hit in 15 minutes. So you got to think about the money motivation it was to like, am I going? And then the other thing is, not only is it money motivator, but the other thing is like I said, it's a culture of the community to where like people do this all the time, and so like you gonna implicate somebody for doing what you have done also.
And you know, that's what I thought. I really thought, man, you probably messed with Leah, and messed with this young girl. You stopped, and then you got back with God because he came on all these church albums. I was like, you got back right. But no, you still was doing wrong.
Well, that's what they were saying. Like one of his best talents was gauging the temperature of the culture.
Yeah.
Like when
Yeah, he messed me up.
like he'll make some real freaky nasty type things, whatever, for the people. But then when shit got kind of hot, he'll make a gospel album.
Yeah.
Or he'll do like they say after the trial shit. That's when he came out with all the happy people, the step in the name of love,
that is.
and like and when he did,
Good
and then when he performed whatever, he did like a whole kind of like 1960s, 50s feel, the doo wop.
Oh, yeah, I remember that doo-wop shit.
Yeah.
Love Letter had that. I had a
Yeah,
lot
so
of that.
like to appeal to the older generation or whatever.
Cause my mama was like, oh, I can't listen to him no more.
Yeah.
But we used to jam.
Somebody listen to that older generation. Everybody like that's he speak. He
So-
know how to change the narrative.
Y'all haven't went out to hear them play his song yet.
What song?
Any song.
They no, I
You
was
was
gonna say,
out?
when I
did-
went on the booze cruise, the first booze
In
cruise I
Cabo,
went
they
on
were
in
playing?
Cabo.
They were playing?
Yeah, no, the DJ was really good. First of all,
Yeah.
shout out to the DJ on Cabo Escape.
I did like the music. I said,
Yeah.
damn, they getting down.
That booze cruise was going hard. But anyway, so like on the first booze cruise I went on, it was like all black people. So like when I got on there, like he was playing a lot of R. Kelly. Like he played like 3 songs back to back, and people were like, "Oh my god!" Like
Yeah.
it was like half and half really. Like some people were like just don't pay attention.
Some people probably didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But the
Cause
people that
y'all
were paying
y'all
attention,
in another like whole country, so I don't think y'all know.
no.
They
I
don't know.
mean, you still got social media.
Yeah.
And
That's
internet
true.
shit.
I mean, well, I wouldn't look at that. If I like
Yeah.
that. So,
I mean, like, but it was everywhere. Like, you couldn't open up Facebook, you couldn't open up
Oh.
Twitter, you couldn't open up shit without seeing
That's
something
true.
about R. Kelly. You saw memes about it on fucking IG. You see it everywhere.
It felt so weird. They played "Step in the Name of Love." We was at this like daytime party. I'm over here. Step in the name. Cut that shit. All you hear this girl like, "Cut that out! You can't play that." I was like, "Oh my god."
It's actually going to come to a head now, but
I tried to stop myself and said,
I don't know. We'll see how far it gets. But I think that the whole R. Kelly situation is kind of
"This is really sad."
They actually TMZ put out earlier today that somewhere in Georgia they actually trying to bring up charges today.
Because of the documentary.
Yeah, because of just seeing the documentary, somebody enjoyed it.
So he's on the investigation.
Yeah, he's on the investigation.
Oh, really? Now y'all put his ass on after 20, 30 years?
And that's what people say.
Damn, they should have then did a documentary.
And that's what they investigated him over a documentary, but then they came out with a
Well,
whole sex tape.
You had a whole sex tape with him on there, and then he tried to say it was his brother.
Yeah.
I heard that the issue with the sex tape was, for one, it was that they did say it was like inconclusive, and the other thing was they said that somehow they got it without a warrant, and so that's why it was like
the way they obtained it.
The way they obtained it.
How they obtained it?
Well, like I say, you have to.
You have to have a warrant first of all.
Yeah, you have to warrant. Like they just went up in the house and be like,
no. The news people had. Remember, he said they had it. And
he got leaked. He got stole from his house.
Did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
And so when it got seen in public before they could put it on trial, they messed it up.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's why he didn't get tried on that video. And so that is the only real incriminating evidence they had on R. Kelly for all these years.
And then when the people that's supposedly involved say, "Yeah, that's not me,"
and
now you have no case.
Yeah,
he paid them off.
Yeah.
And then you probably got your parents.
I mean,
you don't want nobody to know that was you.
The thing you have to realize is that he didn't even have to pay anybody off because their salaries are paid. So like, it's not like he gave him extra money because he did it. It's like, okay, if I go to jail, what you gonna do? You're going to be broke because you worked with me for the past 20 years. I'm paying your salary.
So why they telling now? Like tour managers and stuff. They don't work
money drying up, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, but he's like stuff been drying up for him lately.
To be honest, that tour manager, Dimitri, whatever, he looks sick too.
Well, like I said, like the money's dried up because it was like he had those houses last year foreclosed on and stuff because he ain't been doing as much shows that he's was doing before.
Because they getting canceled.
Yeah, because when that sex slave thing came out, that really hurt him some more.
Yeah.
Okay, and then right before we get out of the whole R. Kelly situation, I wanted to bring up one last topic about it because I don't want to say that I don't want this to come off as justification for anything, but I do want to kind of touch on the psychological trauma of molestation for men. Because I think in the documentary it actually came out that he had been sexually assaulted or whatever when he was younger, and like his brother had too, and all that kind of stuff. And I think people, I don't know if it's people neglect to mention how much of an effect sexual problems happen for men in a lot of situations where they've been assaulted by a family member, whether it be molested or had sex with their mama friend, like when they were young and they didn't know no better, and so like people don't take those things into account. And like I said, I don't want this to be thought of as a justification because it happens to plenty of people that don't come off and start molesting little girls and shit. So, but I do want to touch on like, how do you think that society approaches male sexual assault? Like, how do y'all feel like
as a joke?
They don't feel like it's assault.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think that, male conversation.
Because males are, they're manly already. You're a boy. Nobody really touches you like that. If it's a female, they'll just be like, oh, y'all had sex. It's okay. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right. And I think in the male,
now you a man.
On the male side, it's like, well, you had sex with a woman that was 20 years older than you, you doing your thing.
Right.
You 15 and she was 35?
Yeah. Oh, look at you, pimp.
Yeah, you done pulled you a grown ass
probably
woman.
messed you up now for life.
Right. Because I think that people, like, and I say this because there was a conversation being had about how, black women especially are forced to grow up fast. And so that's how they end up in a lot of, like, grown-ass situations. And I think the same can be said of boys, but I think that it gets overlooked sometimes. And like I said, I don't want this to be a justification for what happened, but I think that it's important to note that we need to be having better conversation about just sexual assault in general and manipulation and statutory rape and those kind of things from the male perspective and the female perspective, because I think people get into those situations and they have psychological effects from it that make them into what they are. So I feel like, granted, like I said, people get molested all the time and they don't turn into monsters. And so I would never use that as an excuse for what R. Kelly did because shit was nasty. But I think that it's important to note that, you know, we got to have better conversations because, for one, when a man gets assaulted by a woman, it's a great thing. There was a whole video that came out about, I told y'all about it earlier, about like the Lil Wayne video. Mm-hmm. Lil Wayne was talking to Lil Twist. Lil Twist was like 15, and he's like, why you ain't had no pussy yet? Like, why you ain't fuck somebody? And 15, he's like, and that's what I think somebody in the room said, he 15, and he's like, man, nigga, I had raised man at 15.
That's why I'm just like, 15 is still a baby to me. Like, you shouldn't be.
He said, I had my first child at 15. He said, I was already fucking by 11.
So that makes it okay?
That's the type of, and that's an extreme conversation, but that's the type of conversations that young men have.
And it makes it okay. Like, so you got married. What age you got married? 15 too?
Who?
He married Reggie, whatever.
Toya.
He wasn't married until he was older, though, I think.
No, like you say, they married, I think, when he turned like 18, 17.
How many kids he got? That's probably his damn problem.
He got a bunch of kids. Yeah. He got kids with everybody.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably his damn problem now. Look at
that. But, see, the issue right now is I think that I don't think people realize the conversations that young boys are having with grown men. Because think, look, Wayne is what? He was about like 35 in that conversation.
Your dad told you, hey, you guys just pussy yet?
My daddy didn't, but I've heard it from grown men before when I was younger. Like, you fucking already? And when I was, in fact, by the time I was 17, when I had gone to one of my daddy family reunions, my cousins were there and they were asking me, damn, you ain't got no kids yet? I think I'm 17.
Oh, 17? They asking you got kids?
Yeah, they're like, man, you doing good. You ain't got no kids. I had my first one at 15. My daddy had his first one at 15. So I'm like, it's the kind of conversations that we have as men, and I think that the culture has to shift as far as that conversation too, because I think it leads to shit like R. Kelly.
True.
And I think that while boycotting R. Kelly music is cool,
we need to have a better conversation with our young men.
We need to have conversations with men and women.
True. Like, because young women think it's okay too.
Or older women think it's cool to fuck young boys, and that shit not cool either.
No, y'all can have them little niggas.
Like I said, but like both y'all saying, though, conversation needs to be had for both sexes.
We don't have it.
Like both sexes need to be educated.
Right.
Like I said, we make our little black boys and girls grow fast. They feel like they have to do more than what they need to do.
Enjoy being young.
Yeah, just enjoy being a kid.
If I could go back in time, baby, I wouldn't have did.
You wouldn't have grown up?
Bills and shit.
Oh, I don't know how you gonna stop it.
Sex ain't all great how y'all making it seem out here.
I know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Sex is good, but I think
okay.
I think that people
having it so young.
Yeah, no, having it young is stupid. Like, I mean, it's not stupid, but it's like it's a difference between a young person losing their virginity to a young person and having sex with a young person. Like 2 16-year-olds happen to mess around and have sex.
What if they're 14 and he's 18?
That's a stretch.
Yeah. That's
a stretch to me. I think it is possible because, 14 is a freshman in high school, 18 is a senior.
You're still a baby.
I think that's the case, but I could see it happening. Now, Romeo and Juliet law only gives you 3 years, so that would actually be rape anyway.
Yeah.
You only get 3 years according to Romeo and Juliet, and that's only in Texas. So that's only a Texas law.
Yeah.
So you can have sex with a person that's underage at 18 or 19 if they are within 3 years and y'all like went to school together or something. Like y'all were together when you were 17 and they were 15, and now you 19 and they 17 and y'all good. Or you 19 and they 16.
Yeah, 17 you legal age anyway. Right. Texas.
But like, let's say like you were 19 now and they 16, you still good because y'all were together, but while y'all were still minors and shit or whatever. Mm. So it's complicated, but I think that the conversation needs to be had that like the shit is wrong. Period. Like,
but it's been going on forever.
It has.
I watch older men talk to young girls. I'm like, they ain't got no conversation because you're not there to have no conversation.
Like I said, the whole R. Kelly thing brought all that conversation up on different social media timelines, whatever. Because people was like, yeah, a lot of females were going off about the R. Kelly thing, and people was like, nigga, I remember being in the 10th grade and seeing this girl that I like that was in the 10th grade with me get picked up by some nigga in a Georgia.
Yeah.
That was
25 years old.
Yeah, that graduated from the school 4 years ago.
Yeah. The nigga 22 years old picking up girls that are sophomores, they 15, 16 years old, he 22, he come and scoop them up, fuck them in the Charger and shit like that. That is a problem. when you in high school, they're like, oh shit, you know, they fucking older men or whatever. Like, dog, that nigga is sick. To be 22 years old.
Is he sick?
Yeah, there's something wrong with somebody that feels like they have to go after young people, because that he may not be like sick, but he feels the need to manipulate people.
Right.
And then the bad part about that, you know, we talk about that, but
so he's not confident in himself to talk to a woman today.
Right. If you look at a lot of old movies, whatever the case may be, like a lot of subject matters, that was it. It'd be like there was a movie that was kind of set in high school, what case may be. Somebody always have a boyfriend and like, oh yeah, my boyfriend's in college.
Yeah.
And this and that, what case may be. Like that was the norm.
It really is. I mean,
for a minute,
that's how a lot of people are, and I think that
I like the older guys.
I think in the past, like in the very like distant past, you know, people were getting married at really young ages.
True.
Even to older men.
Let me take my okay. How far apart are your parents? Like what age?
My parents are only 3 years apart.
5. Because I always told my dad, like, you know how old mama was?
Mm-hmm.
5 years apart.
But I know some people that got parents that are like 10, 15 years apart.
I believe it.
Like I say, you have the parents that's kind of like that, but your grandparents really, like a lot of people, grandparents
definitely.
a lot of big differences.
So that's been going on for a long time.
Because they talk about like, okay, people coming back, like back in the day, like when you coming back from the war or something like that, and you like, you about 22, 23 years old, and I mean, you come back and see people and you see this 16-year-old, like, you kind of feel like y'all might be the same kind of age. I mean, you don't really, that was normal back then. Like, to get like a 16, 17-year-old when they come back. Like, and that's why the age differences were so big. Because, like, when they left, they were kids. Because when they went to war, they were like 17.
You're right.
They went to war at like 17. Sense. They come back 3-4 years later, and now they back in like.
How old my grandparents were? I don't know.
How far apart were they?
I don't know.
Oh.
All my grandparents passed, but I don't know.
Yeah, I said all my grandparents.
I would say mine was just a year apart, but like I said, it was a marriage before that, so I don't know what that was. But
yeah,
like you say, most people grandparents, they have like 10, 15 year differences and shit.
Yeah, like they be like, let's say
I want an old man like 80.
See, okay, and the other thing is, okay, so I know a lot of people, I know a lot of women, and we're gonna get off the whole r.kelly thing in a minute, but I know a lot of women that are like, let's say my age, well, when I was like 25. And I seen them get married like on social media and things like that.
They're
like,
old and
they got like full gray hair and everything. I'm like,
that's what you need.
And I be thinking it's like
stability. You need stability in your life.
So they like 25. They're like 25 marrying men. 25 marrying men that are like 40 plus.
Yeah.
So that's the same big ass age difference. I guess. Now I won't say that that's a good. Like it's not the same as fucking with somebody young, but that age difference thing, like. Well, it's weird. Well, it's still weird to me.
Well, that's my thing, though. But I think, but I think there's an issue with people, though. Like, I think we get hung up on the age difference, whatever case may be, right? Mm-hmm. But we look at people like 18 and younger, you're a child. Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, you can have a 5-year, 10-year age difference with somebody. Hey, do what you want to do. But if they're under 18, they're still a child. That person hasn't fully developed yet.
So what's the youngest you ever talk to a woman? What's the youngest woman you ever talked to?
That's what I'm talking about right now?
Yeah. You don't hit me with the 21.
No. Because I can't have nothing to talk to you about.
I won't do under 25.
Oh, really? Because most men will be like 21.
No.
You can drink age.
No, I'm like we can't really talk about nothing.
The thing is, you just started drinking, so I don't want nobody that can't drink either.
I can't drink like that.
But no, that's my thing though. I'm kind of like what Jeremy said. I would probably talk to somebody if it happened. If they was like 26, 27 like that. But ideally, I want somebody the same, like, we're talking about the high school thing.
Yeah.
I want somebody in the range that, hey, you was around the same time in high school I was, because then we kind of have like the same kind of experiences and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We have the same type of conversations.
I don't want to talk to nobody who was born in the 90s.
I would say that before. Damn. I think, but it just depends on the person. Like, it depends on how you relate to the person. But overall, I can see that, like, you know, somebody within your 4-year age range would probably be best.
Like, when you don't know who John B is, I was just hurt. Like,
who didn't know who John B was?
This nigga told me he didn't know who John B was. So I was like,
oh, hell no. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But, like, relatable experience is important. So, like, I would say the age difference is important, like, within, like, 4 years or so. But I think if you can relate to somebody as far away as, but I just don't think anybody under 25 would understand anything.
Because you really have been through shit in life.
Yeah.
If you fresh out, if you went to college, you fresh out of college.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You ain't experienced life.
And like me being 32 now, that gives us like what, almost a 7-year age difference. Mm-hmm. That's too much.
I'm gonna stay in my 30s.
You gonna stay with 30s? Yeah. But y'all are older than me, so
just throw that out. Just throw it.
I mean, y'all are.
Yeah.
And so I didn't say what your age was, girl.
I'm 35. I'm blessed.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, look like you're 25.
You know.
Which blonde?
Hey.
Daenerys Stormborn. But real quick, we're gonna touch on this John Gray thing.
Okay, I gotta hear about this too.
Okay, so what happened with John Gray?
Okay, pretty much everybody, you can look this up. We're gonna pray about it after we talk about it.
Yeah.
But no, pretty much it came out that John Gray, they say pretty much confessed about in his sermon. I'm saying he had a sermon. I don't know what day it happened, what the case may be, but he basically admitted in so many words, without saying I did it, about cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Now the reports are allegedly whatever that he got caught cheating on his wife and allegedly got the side chick pregnant. Wife found out, beat up the woman. What the case may be, did the woman have a miscarriage or she had an abortion? Who knows? But the altercation was for that's fact.
She beat up the wife.
Yes.
I mean the side chick.
In the sermon, whatever, you can go look this up because they have different videos from the sermon that they had. He basically went up there and he basically told them, he called his wife on to the altar, and because he's the ordained pastor now too. Mm-hmm. Called her to the altar and he basically said that he told her to smile at the crowd. And he was like, they say, look at these smiles, whatever. This is what we have to do for the people, but the people don't know what's behind these smiles. Yeah. He said people see these smiles and think everything is good, but don't know that our marriage has been troubled. That there's been many nights where one of us had to sleep on the couch. Where I was flying from state to state, country, helping everybody else with their families and their livelihood, and my family and my marriage was falling apart. You know what I'm saying? People don't know behind these smiles, whatever, dealing in situations where I was, you know what I'm saying, like I say, going off doing this and that, trying to help these people there, but also losing my way and getting compromised in certain situations to step away from my wife, or whatever the case may be, whatever, and then my wife having to come in and set it off like a good wife should.
That was cool for her to do that?
Well, that's when everybody was like clapping, like, you know what I'm saying, the wife said, mm-hmm.
Why are you jumping on her?
That's what I'm saying.
I would have been slapping him the whole time.
Which is true. Which at the end entails whatever, she gets up there and she starts talking about it. Mm-hmm. And she was like, yeah, the devil was trying to talk to him, trying to talk to 16-year-old John, the John that couldn't get a date back in the day. And stuff like that. I'm like, damn, she's shooting slugs at him too, whatever. But she's
still mad.
Yeah, she's like, the John can't get dates. But she was like, I told the devil that they was a lie. And I told that woman, you are a lie. You will not mess up my marriage. And this and that, case may be. So basically, they just confessed that, like, yeah, he's messing around, he's doing his thing, what the case may be. Which came out because they was like, he had that incident last month of buying his wife a Lamborghini truck. Yeah. And it came out there like, yeah, that was basically they had to get ahead of it because I think the reports came out about the cheating thing, whatever. So that's why in the sermon they didn't talk about it.
That's why I was
because they was like the Lamborghini truck was supposed to be like a hush gift. Thanks for not messing up what we got.
How do y'all feel about that?
About what? How do you feel about what?
Him coming.
It bothers. I'll tell you what the situation bothers me. It bothers me because at the end of the day, this is one of the main reasons why so many people have left religion alone and turned away from the church.
I just feel.
And it proves a point. It proves a point that I look at, in this situation, I look at Joel Osteen and I look at John Gray in the same, where I put them against each other. Joel Osteen is about his money. John Gray has been proven to be about his fame.
He showed you that when he went to the White House.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Joel Osteen makes appearances and does certain things that he has to do to make his money, whatever the case may be. He ain't gonna do no extra stuff. John Gray got a Lifetime TV show, was doing stuff with Trump, being front and center, sitting next to him, whatever the case may be. When, you see John Gray at some of the basketball games, talking to celebrities and this and that and whatever. He wants the limelight. Yeah. And with fame comes a price. And he's seeing that now. Like, your life has been put into shambles. Everybody know your business because you chose to be put in a certain spotlight. Rather than,
or he can't handle it.
Or you can't handle that spotlight. Where at the end of the day, you should have just been where you was. Like, you could have been an associate pastor still at Lakewood, doing your Lifetime show and just being good whatever you're doing. But at the end of the day, but you want to be more than that.
Yeah, and I think that it ties back to like just the whole culture, like just his whole situation.
Yeah.
It ties back to this culture of like you get to a point where like you feel like you can do what you want to. I mean, I guess people gonna do that even when they're not being famous, but just
But
because
when you famous, you can really do it.
yeah, you really have more opportunity.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like his wife had a point. Like
Mm-hmm.
he there was a time where he didn't have that attention. So now that he has it, he was like, I can take advantage of it because, like, this random woman wants me. Mm-hmm. And she probably was not an unattractive woman. And, he's not an attractive man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I ain't saying that to be mean or nothing, but, like, the nigga's not that attractive.
But he has the gift of the mouthpiece.
Yeah, he can talk.
Yeah.
So, he got an attractive woman coming on to him, and he's trying to take advantage of that shit. So, I mean, I guess that's how it ends up happening, but I think it just ties back to the fact that the culture of it's a mindset. Like, it's a mindset of thinking that it's okay for you to do whatever because of the position you're in.
You ain't getting caught yet. Who knows how long you been doing it?
Right, and who knows if that's the only one.
And that's what I'm talking about. And that's the part that bothers me. Like I say, I still practice Catholicism and things of that nature, but I'm more spiritual in my life now than I am religious. And situations like that, people look to John, because like I say, being here in Houston, Texas, or whatever, like so many people like, hey, yeah, Lakewood is cool, whatever, but you need to go to Lakewood on Wednesday to see John Gray preach.
Yeah,
Like,
I used to always try to go, and I always listen when he.
Yeah, I'm saying like people like you need to go see John Gray. That's who we talking that word and but it's that's cool.
But he's a good preacher. But do you live by it? Do you, sir?
No, but that's my thing. You can have issues, like I say. You tell me about your past discretions, what case may be. I feel that, I understand that, but it's kind of hard for me to respect you, and I'm telling you about my story, how I feel about something, and you doing worse shit than me, but you're trying to tell me how I need to live my life.
Maybe you cheating on your wife.
Yeah. So, I'm coming to you telling you about my marriage, like, hey, we going through hard times, and I just don't know what to do. And you telling me how I need to work on this and do this and that, but you stepping out on your marriage at the same time you telling me.
To make up for it, he buys you a Lambo truck.
Yeah.
And you think this is okay. I'm kind of mad at her, too.
I think this ties back to, like, this money motivation.
Can't stop the ball from rolling.
Yeah, you can't stop
You
ain't gonna drive your well.
I thought the side chick. That's not who you need to fight. You can't fight every woman.
You're not gonna drive the well. When the well is bringing forth water, as John Gray is in the position and the peak of where he's at right now.
You think they're gonna let him live that down?
Ain't nobody even really talking about it. It came out at a good time.
It did.
It came out at a good time in the news cycle.
I'm trying to find it on Instagram. I'm like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah, no, it came out at a good time in the news cycle because it's gonna get brushed under because of all the R. Kelly shit.
But like I say, he'll get brushed under, but this ain't the last we're gonna see of it.
No,
because it's not the last one. Because he made us in the sermon when he talked about everything, whatever. He made a comment that's going to be true. He was like, "Yeah, I keep smiling, whatever, because the people already said that. Hey, if you can't do it, we'll find somebody else."
Right.
And because you love that limelight, you love the fame that much, you're not gonna let somebody else take your spot.
Yep, and that's the problem. Some pastors need to step down because this is not your calling. You are not to lead people. You ain't the shepherd, sir, to lead the sheep.
Well, I think that people need to be more, and this is a whole nother conversation, but I think pastors and everybody need to be a little bit more transparent. I mean, not to that point, because I think that they kind of make a spectacle of it from the sounds of it. Kind of make a spectacle of the whole situation. But like, I think people need to be transparent in the fact that like no shepherd that we've ever had has ever been good.
It's not perfect, but this is like, I don't know how to even deal with it. Like, okay, so you cheating, but you just told me last Sunday to make sure I close my legs and don't be having sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry, but you over here with your goddamn side chick buying your wife Lambo. You know I'm pissed over here, right?
The whole thing
I could have been out here thought like you.
You have to know that you can't fully expect them to be living the life that they're trying to tell you.
I would hope they do.
Advice. They give you advice.
That's how I'm supposed to look at it.
Yes. Like how is you're not really you if you go into a pastor or anybody else to get in even your therapist. Even your therapist ain't perfect.
No, I put my pastor way up here to be
But this is my thing though. It's like what you're saying too. You can be just somebody you can be best enough to give me advice, all right?
Right.
But it turns to a different tone when you want me to pay towards the building fund for the
Oh,
church.
yeah.
No, the money
Yeah,
thing
wanna
is
be-
over.
And I'm at a singles conference. And I done paid $150 to get here and got your
Yeah, I don't
goddamn
like
book.
none of that.
Me too. I'm
Yeah.
done with that.
So when you
I
doing
done
some
paid for
financial
this
gains,
conference, and you pay for your book, and I'm listening to you, and I'm doing everything, the 90-day rule, and whatever.
See, but no, and I don't participate in any of that because I understand that none of these niggas are paid perfect.
That's why I'm
Because
like,
I really
what
don't
the-
think I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, oh, tell me everything that you do to make your marriage or whatever your life is so great. Because I know behind closed doors, it's probably not
Yeah,
as
I would
great.
respect him more if he just be like, you be had some trouble times in the beginning, like, you know, we fought, argue, I cheated, blah, blah, blah. Not right now, though. Not right now.
I
Not
mean,
getting no side chick pregnant. This some dumb shit. Like, you are
but
dumb.
this is the time where he's going to cheat the most because he's out in the spotlight.
He needs to get out there.
there.
He can't handle it. Move on. Get out the spot. You cannot handle
I
it.
agree, he can.
He can't handle it. He's always in. And now it's getting to the point, it ain't even positive stuff you saying. You trying so hard to be positive. It's like, goddamn.
you're not being positive. Every time we see you come out, it's on damage control.
Yeah,
Right.
you right. And she right there to help his ass.
Yeah, because again, you
Can't stop the money.
You can't stop the money.
You can't stop the money. At the end of the day, you can't stop the money.
We gonna pray for
That should be
I'm
the
gonna say
title.
go for
That's
that.
what I should be. Can't stop the money.
Can't stop
You
the
can't
You
stop
can't
the
stop the
money.
money.
That might be the name of
Yeah,
it.
you can't stop the money.
You know what I'm saying?
But-
Take that.
Anyway, so we're gonna move on in this thing. 'Cause we over an hour already.
Okay.
Trapped in negligence, can't stop the money. Parentheses.
Yeah, parentheses, can't stop the money.
That's just sad. It's
Anyway,
been a hurtful.
so we gonna
Episode.
woosah then. We gonna woosah right on out of this thing. So our woosah segment for today is basically I just because of all the things that have come out and like some of the things that come out after R. Kelly's situation, like Chant's statements and all that kind of stuff that kind of came out afterwards. And it seems like every time something big like this happens, like people start attacking people from all over the place.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these people will tell you, hey, I felt this way at one point. I see where I was wrong, and this is how I feel now. I think that it's important that people not only admit that they were ignorant at one point,
Yeah.
admit that you were wrong. It's okay to admit that you're wrong, but also show the growth that's happening. So, like, I admit, because Chance came out and he had said something, and actually the interview in context wasn't as bad as everybody made it seem. They
Yeah,
just took a clip and
yeah,
took it.
that clip they put on the show.
Yeah, the clip was bad.
What the clip they put? Let me.
They're basically him talking about something about disrespecting like black women.
Yeah, he said he guessed that he didn't accept what they were saying because they were black women.
Yeah.
That's the clip they put on there. But in context, when you hear the rest of what he said, he was saying that he wasn't really saying that he didn't believe them because they're black women. He just said that may be one of the thought processes that people have is that I don't believe them because they're black women. But he even said he's like, and it may have even been me, but that's not how I feel. And like he was explaining all this throughout the clip because there's a whole part before and a part after. But the clip that everybody jumped on was him saying,
They jumped on John Legend too.
They jumped on John Legend because they were
Took a
talking
picture
about
with-
Him and Harvey Weinstein.
And he said that's before the.
Yeah, it was
we didn't
before
know.
anything.
Yeah.
So
And it does happen like that.
and the thing is, and that's why I say I think it's important to admit that you were ignorant to some of the information. I mean, I have mixed feelings about the whole R. Kelly thing because, and not towards R. Kelly, but towards the people that are having conversations about R. Kelly. Because everybody is now, like, even older people are coming out and being like, oh my God, R. Kelly is so sick. But, like, we kind of knew this since, like, 95?
Yeah. No,
You know what I'm saying?
like I say, everybody knows. So, but everybody wants to talk now because it's cool to talk about it.
Yeah. And I think that now is a good time. And I'm not knocking anybody for, like I said, that's why the
We
move
could
shot
have
for
been.
today is.
We could have been.
How many people you could have saved if you would have
Right.
stepped out in the beginning?
Right.
And that's what the main issue is.
So that's why I say, like, I'm not knocking anybody for it, and that's why my woosah for today is that it's okay to admit that you were wrong about something, admit that you were ignorant to some information, or, you missed something. I missed something at the beginning. Now I know it. Now what am I going to do about it?
Yeah.
And I think that as far as just this situation or any situation like this, once you've admitted your ignorance, you show that you've grown some and show how you've grown. Now you have to take steps to actually do something to prevent anything in the future. Because like that was my argument for the whole R. Kelly situation is I understand people boycotting his music. Yes, I believe. Okay, if it makes you uncomfortable to hear his music, great. Stop listening to it because you're not gonna support him. You're not gonna give him no streams, whatever. That's great. I don't know how much it's going to help everybody else in this situation. I don't know how much it's going to help people that are actually suffering from predators. You know what I'm saying? Because we know, like, I won't say that everybody knows predators personally, but there's a large amount of people that we know that, you know, have situations where we can help. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's just talking to somebody that has been assaulted before, or because I know at least 50-60% of women that I've ever even talked to have admitted to me of being raped or being molested or something like that. It's getting help for those people. It's talking to your homeboys that hang out at high school parties. That, like, cause I even know people from back home, and I'll be like, "Oh, what? Y'all really gonna go to this thing with?" Like, I don't even like going to 18 and up clubs. Like, I don't like going to anything where I know anybody under 21 is gonna be there.
What about guys that go back to college, like they already pledged and then go back to, cause they're older, it's okay?
Wait, you have to explain that more, because I mean that's
she finally say like, yeah, I'll graduate from college, what the case may be. I'm probably like in my mid-20s or even 30s, what the case may be. But I go back for I go back for other stuff, not homecoming. But I go back for my fraternity or whatever, or organization is throwing a party, and people there are like 18, 19-year-olds.
Okay, so I mean, to me, that's still kind of like. It's not predatory because it's not illegal. I don't agree with it morally, but I mean they are of age. So I mean that's a little bit different for me than somebody that's going out to like a high school getting 15 and 16-year-olds. Like going for like college kids and going for underage girls and boys is two different things to me.
I just think to the point where it's just kind of like just with that conversation, but just in general period. We need to get out. We need to get out of the thing of they ain't none of my business. When you know when it's like, especially somebody that you know or you maybe converse with, what the case may be, right? It's okay to ask questions and be like, "Hey, my nigga, what you doing?"
Right.
Do y'all do that? Because men are real good about just minding their business.
Oh no,
women do.
Men, I can tell you. I can tell you situations where I've stepped in and be like, "Hey, Kent, what you doing?" And there been other situations where I've been like, "Nigga, I ain't in there."
Women, you say women always step in and ask questions, but I know a lot of women that have friends that do some crazy, like even if it's just whole shit, like random whole shit like that, they be doing to niggas, and women will overlook a lot of things, and they'll tell other people how wrong they think it is, but they won't tell their homegirls. I mean, I think it's a universal thing.
Okay. I don't know.
I think men and women do it, and I think everybody should stop. I think that everybody should start, kind of calling people out, holding people accountable. As everybody trying to hold R. Kelly accountable now, I think that's great. But I think we need to hold everybody accountable, including your friends and family members.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to call out whole shit for everybody. Yeah, don't be like, well, I can't believe Kelly did that. R. Kelly is crazy. I think it's sick. Blah, blah, blah. But you got a homeboy that be hanging out at little high school parties. You be like, oh, that nigga be tripping. I don't even fuck with that
man. But that nigga keep wild.
Yeah, he's like, man, I don't fuck with him when you doing that shit, dog. I don't really fuck with him when you do that shit, dog. But I mean, we cool, though. Like, that's not cool. Like, you can't call out R. Kelly and be adamant about I can't fuck with R. Kelly's music and I can't believe any of this shit. But you got a homeboy that do the same shit, but you cool with him.
Yeah, he call you tomorrow, but like, hey, nigga, let's go out. Shit, that's what's up.
Yeah, and when you know that he fuck with young girls, but you be like, oh man, that's his business when you do that shit. I don't fuck with him when you do that. Maybe we hang out at the bar sometimes, but when he do that shit, I don't really be fucking with him like that.
Which makes what's that movie Dazed and Confused so crazy, like Matthew McConaughey part now. When he said about the high school girls, somebody really like high school girls. Talking about as I get older, they stay the same age.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's crazy people out here, and that's why I say the conversation needs to be had. Just to tie it all back in, the conversation needs to be had. That now that we have grown and we've seen what ignorance we had from before, or what we didn't know about people that mess with high school girls or whatever. People that mess with underage people in general, women that mess with young boys, all of that. Since we are grown now and we aren't ignorant to that fact and we can see signs of that stuff, I think that actions need to be taken outside of tweeting about R. Kelly or making a Facebook status where you argue with people on Facebook about what R. Kelly did and how you still love his music or whatever. Like, all that shit's null and void. None of that shit means anything. None of those fucking arguments that go on social media mean shit if you got homeboys out here fucking little kids. and you're not doing shit about that.
You worse than them.
Yeah.
You letting that shit happen.
You just as bad as the people in the R. Kelly video.
Basically.
So you can't talk shit about nobody else if you know people personally that are doing the same shit.
Yeah.
Let me find out.
No matter how much you love somebody, and that's the other thing you learn about R.
Don't you
Kelly.
Don't you dare.
The other thing you learn about this R. Kelly situation is, no matter how much you love somebody, whether it be another artist, a family member, whatever, you have to know that if they fucking up,
You gotta let them know.
you gotta let them know. Or you gotta let the authorities know. If it's to this level, you gotta let the authorities know. Like, it don't matter how close you are, you gotta save people.
Don't be a sparkle.
Yes.
Don't let it be somebody that's really that close to you. Now I really feel like I have to say something. But you know about other
Did
people's
she know
situations.
about other people's situations?
She's seen certain things, whatever. She was like, yeah, that don't look right. That don't like when his wife came down. She like, can I get some food, whatever. He's like, man, he got motherfuckers locked up in there. What kind of shit is that?
Yeah, little shit like that just makes you like, what's going on?
But when it's your niece, now you really
Because it's
affected.
family.
Yeah, now it's affected. Now it's a problem.
So-
And that's what people were saying anyway, because they were talking about, and that we'll end with this. It's what people were saying about, just trying to be ignorant of things and trying to ignore things.
So we want to stay in our business.
You want to stay in your own business, but it's like, because people were they were really talking about people that listen to R. Kelly music. They're like, people be like, that's not my business. I don't really care. I'm just gonna jam the music. I don't have him as a person. They got shit to do with me. He fucked up as a person. But what they were saying was, you feel that way until it happens to somebody you know.
Yes, that's how I feel. Like, let it happen to somebody, like with my little cousin.
If it happens to somebody you know, now all of a sudden, that whole ass nigga, he need to die. I ain't never playing none of his shit. But you just gotta have the mentality of saying, okay, I need to grow. I may have been ignorant to some things before, but now that I have all the information, I need to know that I can move past this and I can actually do something about this. And like I said, not listening to the music is one thing, but I really want people to grow into the fact that this isn't the only incident. R. Kelly is small potatoes compared to shit that's going on.
Because it's out
around.
here. It's out here. They
It's
probably
out
at
here.
the schools now. School back
Chilling.
in section. Let me find out.
Even if it's just them little 22-year-olds that graduated a few years ago, hanging around trying to scoop them. Because we run kids. Okay, because I coach football, so we run kids away and be like, dog, you get the fuck out of here before you go to jail. Because like they be around because they do workouts and they play football because they in town because of they still
Oh,
on Christmas
and they
break.
trying to look at little girls.
Yeah, they be like,
Like,
who is that? Like, nigga, no, she's in the 10th grade. Go home. Like,
That's
yo,
good y'all run them off. Some men probably don't care. And let them.
I mean, we have to run them off.
Yeah,
they
they
on campus.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta do my job.
He supposed to say, yeah, we run them off.
Job.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, we got to.
I mean, I have to. Like, I'm on campus. Like, you can't just, you can't be on campus. Like, they can be on campus, but like, they be on the fields playing and like doing their workouts and shit. And then they be like,
Looking at little girls.
and then the kids be coming out of school. So like, when they release from school, they out there with the kids. Like, hey, kids are coming out. Y'all
like
gotta go.
15, you see this 20-some-year-old. He look better than little Johnny who 15.
Yeah, because they run around with their shirts
Shirts
off.
off,
And shit.
yeah.
He's like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, my boyfriend in college.
Yeah.
He fucking you and somebody else.
Yeah.
He's knocking you down.
Yeah, because I'm saying, because like it's just the school effect. Like I say, when you used to go to in my senior year, you used to go to different high schools, whatever, and like the school.
You was out there.
Oh, I was.
Jeez.
But you know, different high schools, whatever, and you step out and then like class let out, and the females looking and talking to the females that know you, whatever, like, hey girl, like, so my home was like, yeah girl, you got that homework? Yeah girl, I'm gonna finish that. And the girl's like, I never talked to her before in my life.
Yeah.
But she's
'Cause
seen
she's
some
trying to see.
some dudes that she never seen before.
Yes,
right.
Like, hey, what's up?
For sure, that's what you got.
And the thing is, and I guess I'm
But
gonna
y'all
end with
high
this.
school. Oh.
But I'm gonna end with this. The only person I do not blame in the R. Kelly situation or in those situations where you're at school is them little girls because they don't know better.
No.
The adult in the situation
and they're
has to
looking
step
for
up.
some type of love. I don't care. It's something.
Yeah,
you're
there's something
looking for.
missing, and they trying to get it from this older dude, and the older
Yeah.
dude's gonna give it.
Probably say you a cute girl.
Yeah, that's
I
all.
like your braces.
Yeah,
Is that right?
and everybody told her that.
That's
Oh, you like my braces?
terrible.
What?
Braces.
I had them. I like your braces.
Yeah.
Any.
And then she smiles big.
Yeah, she smiled big or whatever, and then got
It's
her.
okay. You wear a cup A. I like A.
I ain't going there.
Yeah.
I ain't showing that.
Anywho, so
Okay.
we getting out of here with that one.
Sorry.
You just killed the whole.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, I guess we done. Anybody got anything else before we get out of here?
I just need to watch.
What's your boy coming on? Next week.
Oh, yeah, my
Damn,
bad.
nigga.
You don't have none of the information.
Oh, y'all ain't said, oh.
Just give a name and he got a book out.
He got a new name now.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn, Ashley.
No, man.
So anyway, while Ashley looks up this information,
No, I don't know.
It'll be pubbed out during the week.
yeah, it'll check.
Hey,
check
I know him by Larry Smith. Look
Shit,
here.
I don't know my name out
All
there.
right, so anyway, we gonna check the Instagram and the Twitter and everything. We're gonna be talking about a host of guest that we'll be having on next week. He has a book out.
Called,
He's got a book out.
He's got a book
he
out.
got a book out.
Damn,
Hold on.
Ashley.
God damn it. Wait a minute. He got a book out called.
That's not one of your snaps or whatever.
It ain't no more.
Yeah, no, it was a whole snap.
Yeah.
So
The Other Side of Ecstasy.
The Other Side of Ecstasy. We have
Yeah.
an author coming from the
True
other side
story.
of ecstasy.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that.
Okay, good.
It's going down. I got a story too.
All right, so next week, look out for that. Anybody got anything else?
That's about it.
All right, I think they got brunches this weekend. I'm not going because I'm not drinking. So,
Oh.
but it's the Delta's anniversary too for
Oh,
J13, so they're doing a
That's
Delta
what's up.
brunches.
Okay.
They haven't released the information on where it's at till tomorrow, I think. But y'all be on the lookout for that because we usually try to support them. My boy Jamar and G Rose to be doing that thing.
For sure.
But if nothing else, we're gonna get up out of here.
Yep. So that's it. As always, we hope you laughed a little, learned a lot. Whatever.
I didn't do the tag.
Okay. Well, we'll make a new year. We'll make up for it. We hope you laughed a little, learned a lot. We hope we have helped you find the remedy to whatever's troubling you.
There you go.
Damn New Year.
Hey.
This is What's the Remedy Podcast.
And we out.
All right, man.